What does it mean to you in terms of a moment in the campaign?
Couple things, Chris. Thank you for having me on your show. I think you're based in New York. I'm in New York all the time. And Chris, sometimes I would love to take you behind the scenes of what it's like being black in the Republican Party and part of MAGA. I think you will find it interesting, to say the least. Number one, this was a sister soldier moment. And for you all who are not old enough to remember 1982, Bill Clinton went to Jesse Jackson's annual Push conference. They had this radical, crazy, feminist black rapper named Sister Soldier. And Bill Clinton went into Jesse Jackson's house and did exactly what Donald Trump did today. Chris, you were around back then. You know this was the Sister Soldier moment on steroids, number one. Number two.
I do not agree, Reynard. I was around. I remember it, and I remember it as Soldier, J-A, but he did not go in there looking to find a way to mess with what matters to black people. I do not think that's what Bill Clinton wanted to do.
Bill Clinton he made a great calculated decision. And Chris, then the other thing is, I've been involved with NABJ for decades. They are not a professional group. They are a Democratic group. They made a conscious decision, their leadership, to be a vestige of the Democratic National Committee. I'm speaking from experience. And then the third thing is, Chris, they were the reporters asking the question. The agreement was that they would ask questions that was relevant to the black community. Listen, I've been black most of my life, Chris, and I know that's hard to believe, but I am. I self-identify as black. Let me tell you something, Chris. I know the Joy Reids, the Roland Martin, all these crazy, radical, liberal Democrat operatives, and not one time do you ever go out for a drink, Chris, or a meal, and they're talking about Trump speaking to black women the way they claim he does. We're talking about illegal immigration and its devastating impact on the black community. And when Trump said black job, every black person with any shred of credibility, Chris, know what Trump was talking about. Every black that I just named, we have sat down at a restaurant and said, when was the last time you saw a black at a construction site? Because the illegals are taking our job. So they knew exactly what Trump was saying, and so the NABJ and Rachel Scott, she's a disgrace to the industry.
Oh, come on, Reynard.
For her to open up, no, hold on, Chris.
As a journalist, hold on a second. I got you, but you're filibustering a little bit, and I want to bring Nina in. Look, I am not someone who is going to explain blackness to anybody. It's not my right. It's not my place. That's why I have you. But I am a journalist, and Rachel did the job. Okay. She was tone neutral in how she talked to him. She treated him as a professional, and she was not treated professionally. But let me bring in Nina. Nina, what's your take on this?
I'm just perplexed at Brother Reynard, but I'm going to leave that in the parking lot and just say, this is echoes of the past. I mean, it really is. There should be no surprise that President Donald J. Trump is a reflection of that past. The whole notion of the one-drop rule, you got Professor Turner in here tonight, that one drop of black blood makes you black. Black people didn't start this fire. White people who were in control started this fire in trying to define who is black and who is white. Now, when it comes to biracialness, a lot of them act like they confused. And I love, Chris, how you laid that out at the beginning of your remarks, that I'm confused, that y'all confused that biracial people exist not only in this country, but in this world. But it was a mind-blowing experience with President Donald J. Trump. Miscegenation happened, you know, all of that stuff. And then when we talk about race itself, race is a social construct. So now I got to remind our audience of this. People made this up. There is only one race. It is the human race. But since the Republicans want to be preoccupied with it, since they want to call Vice President Harris the affirmative action candidate, let me affirmatively say to my Republican colleagues that 45 of the 46 presidents of these United States of America were affirmatively affirmatively white men, 45 of the 46. And 46 of the 46 vice presidents were affirmatively white men. In other words, it is disingenuous for them to come at the vice president in this way. It is obscene for them to be so obsessed with her ethnic or racial heritage. And I agree with my colleague Lindsay. President Trump had an awesome opportunity to come up in that piece.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.